Welcome to Sportside 2020-21 season. We welcome all of our listeners, viewers and fans. We would like to start off the 2020-21 season with a quick review of each team from last year, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the predictions for the 2020-21 season. So first up, in alphabetical order, or the best team first, we have Arsenal, top of the league, back where they belong, back again. We have Arsenal. So over to the Baron.
So ended the season last year with a great win against Chelsea. Great performance, deserved, or somewhat against a 10-man team. However, I think that there could be a surprise. There could spring a surprise. However, I'm going to predict that Arsenal's going to finish 6th.
Okay, so you predict a little improvement on last year. Any real reason for that? Why you think?
I think it's just going to be like a really close between 4th, 5th, 6th. It's going to be really, really close.
I hear what you're saying, because I was looking at it myself, and there's some quality teams in this league, like at the moment. You know, like Wolves are not a team to be messed about with. Obviously, we'll come to them a bit later. Sheffield United obviously did well last year, so there's lots of teams which are not little teams anymore. Like kind of
100% agree with that. But so far, so good for Arsenal. Fans will be happy with who they brought in.
Yeah, so I'll take over then. So obviously, like you said, we finished on a high. I am an Arsenal fan, as many as you know. Managed to win the FA Cup final. Won the Community Shield already this season, so things are looking good under Arteta. That obviously wasn't the case under Emery. I think most Arsenal fans, were fed up with him from after the first few games of the season last season. So very much welcome the arrival of Mikel Arteta. What I love about him is he's a tactician. There's actually fewer tacticians at the top of the game than you would think, at the Premier League. I would put probably Brendan Rodgers, Mourinho, Klopp and Guardiola. That's about it, I would say. But Arsenal got Gabriel, Saliba, so the defence is strengthened. Hopefully they can get Partey and Aouar over the line. I doubt that they'll get both. I don't think the money is there. They're going to have to sell a lot of players, and I don't think a lot of clubs are looking to spend 30 million on Mustafi at the moment. So, that could be pretty difficult. But, I think that they will, again, improve, mainly just because of Arteta. And I'm actually going to predict that they sneak in and get that Champions League spot. And I predict a 4th place finish for Arsenal.
Oh, okay. I like that. So Arsenal obviously finished 8th last year, 10 points off the top 4. The big thing I think where Arsenal will improve on under Arteta will be that 14 games they drew. Obviously, if we were to sort of win and lose half of them, we would be 7 points at least better off. And towards the end of the year, Arsenal started to show a little bit more grit, fight, and a plan in the big games. We beat Manchester City, we beat Liverpool, we beat Chelsea, beat Liverpool twice actually, and United, right? So
and Wolves,
the mentality of Arsenal now in big games may have turned for the better. So that's obviously interesting. The centre-back reinforcement, Saliba coming back from his 1-year loan, so we'll see a little bit of him. Gabriel, Willian, Ceballos has extended his loan for another year, so that's good. I would like to see us try and bring in, someone like a Partey. We've been linked with people like Coutinho and other guys. I've got a feeling that we won't get any of the Partey, or is it? Well, how do you pronounce his name again? Tank from
Aouar. I'm hearing more likely that we're going to get what's his name, Philip Anderson from West Ham on a free. That's what
that would be very.
It's not going to be the 50 million Aouar. It's going to be Philip Anderson given away.
Yeah, I think Arsenal will come in like a Brazilian 2.0 under Wenger. It was France 2.0.
We got Edu, right, in charge of the transfers at the moment. So.
I mean, I wish he'd bring in Coutinho if he's going to bring anyone in, right?
Yeah.
Well, I too think Arsenal will finish 4th.
Oh, okay, right.
Okay, so next team, Aston Villa, by the skin of their teeth last year, just made it. Baron, what's your thoughts on Aston Villa?
Great fight, and obviously Grealish was the main man to keep them up from relegation. Fantastic player. There, no one's put a bid in for him yet. I don't know if they can keep hold of him. That's going to be huge. At the moment, they haven't really signed anyone of note. If they don't bring players in, I think they're definitely destined to go down. And obviously, keeping Grealish, let's hope they can do that. That will be big for their Premier League campaigin. I think that they're going to get relegated. And
finish where?
18th.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, like you said, obviously the big one is Grealish. They obviously got Mings as well, who's a decent centre-back, plays for England. So, yeah, they got a couple of good players, but Grealish was really carrying them, especially at the end of the season. You know, they managed to actually get quite a lot of points at the end of the season, 8 out of their last 15 points available. So, yeah, I'm actually predicting that they will finish one place higher in 16th this season. I just think that they'll have enough to get over the line. Obviously, if they lose Grealish, then I don't give them any chance whatsoever. They will definitely get relegated. But I think Grealish is going to be too expensive for most teams in the current climate.
Yeah, I agree. I think this pandemic and sort of clubs looking after their cash a little bit more, with the exception of Chelsea. You know, I think Grealish is gonna stay there for at least one more year. Villa finished 17th last year, had a good run at the end of the year with a big win against Arsenal, but they still conceded the second most goals in the Premier League. The biggest thing I think where I see Villa struggling is they don't really have an out-and-out striker that's going to score 10 to 15 goals to keep them up. They purchased Matty Cash from Nottingham Forest for 16 million, and he's a fullback. But unless they get a striker, and I think ultimately Villa will finish 18th next year.
Oh,
I think they will get relegated.
Going down.
No striker, no party, no survival. Next up, Brighton. What are our thoughts there?
Brighton, what a fantastic season they had last year. I think. Oh, what's the boss called again?
Graham Potter.
Yeah, beautiful football. Rejuvenated the team, gave them a little an identity. Also, they've kept Lewis Dunk, which was huge.
Yeah.
Probably arguably their best player they have. Yeah, keeping him was massive. But I think that they'll stay in the Premier League this season. Sort of similar sort of position to what they finished last year. I'm going to say they're going to finish 15th.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm actually going to pick them as one of the teams to go down this year.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm predicting 18th place finish. They only got 5 points from the last 15, so the last 5 games, 2 losses, 2 draws, and only the win was the 5th last game. Like you said, Graham Potter, fantastic manager. The job he did at Ostersund's as well. So I think he's the only reason why they managed to get 15th last season. But I think there's too many stronger teams in the division at the moment, and they haven't done anything yet in the transfer market. There is still a month to go.
They got Adam Lallana.
It's true. They got Adam Lallana. He's a little bit older. I love the guy. One of my favorite players, from 5 years ago or whatever it was. For me, he should have been the England team built around him and everything. He was that good. But I think he's far from that now with the injuries and everything. So, yeah, Dunk, like you said. So they got some good defenders, good manager. But I just think that there's too much quality in the division overall. And I'm predicting, at least one of the promoted teams to do very well this year. So I'm going to stick with that. They're going to get relegated. They're going to finish 18th.
Okay, wow.
Okay, Brighton, who finished 15th last year. I know you guys sort of touched upon it. Fan of their playing style. They're aggressive. They move the ball through the thirds very, very well. Big news is Dunk signed a 5-year deal. Adam Lallana coming in. I think part of their drop-off for the last sort of 5 games, because they were pretty much safe with sort of 5 games to go. I think some of those boys probably took an early holiday and maybe relaxed a little. But I think another year in the Premiership under Graham Potter's belt, I think they will improve slightly on the 15th and finish 14th next year.
Okay, quite a contrast.
Yeah, I like it. Next up, Burnley. Baron's second favourite team.
Yeah, they're one of the worst teams to watch in the league.
Hey, that's my granddad's team, all right?
All right. Apologies to him. I love Sean Dyche. Can't say that he's not a good manager.
How do you say his name? Is it Dyke or Dyche or Dyche? I mean, what's the correct?
I think in the Dogcast, I think he's Dyke. Yeah, Sean Dyche. Anyway, I think he's a fantastic manager. Great to listen to as well. I love listening to him in the post-match interviews. He's always a very sort of interesting character. There was always talk of him last season possibly leaving to go to Everton. That didn't suffice. I still think that he'll get his break to a bigger team. Maybe this will be his last year at Burnley. But I think that Burnley will struggle this year, but again, will still be in the Premier League and finish 16th.
Okay. Quite a drop off from mid-table. They finished exactly mid-table last season in 10th position. Right, yeah. Mm-hmm. They finished the season very well as well. They didn't lose. They only lost one of their last 5 games.
Yeah.
So yeah, decent form, decent manager, like you said, very strong defense and unit, just the way the team played together. Not the most adventurous team, like you said. So that's why I don't really see Sean Dyche as like a manager who should be managing a club in the Europa League or in the Champions League. I think he's probably found his level and he's doing a very good job. But I think that's about it. And I'm predicting a very similar finish for them. Nothing outrageously higher, nothing too much lower, just 11th place, so just 1 place drop off. Mm-hmm. But again, just more to do with the quality in the league than anything really reflective of Burnley. I think they'll be pretty consistent with what they've done last season gone.
Yeah, I'm not too far from you there, Tank. Burnley finished 10th. Where I don't see them sort of going down is they've just got such a tough playing style to play against. They're very direct, like they get the ball in the box to their 2 strikers. They're very old school 4-4-2, big, strong, physical players, hard to break down and difficult to play against. When there's other teams that elect to be more expansive, like the Brightons, like the Leeds. But I think they're a very, very, very solid outfit. I think Sean Dyche is a sort of a modern day Sam Allardyce and just knows how to win games and frustrate teams.
So the next England manager then.
We'll see.
Seems like the type they go for, right? That Sam Allardyce, Gareth Southgate.
I would even say Graham Potter could be in with a shout in a few years, But the only thing I say with Burnley, they've not really signed anyone of note. They've released Aaron Lennon and Hendricks. So again, it'd be interesting to see in the next sort of few weeks if they pick up anyone, but I see them as finishing 2 places lower than last year at 12th.
Okay.
On to the ever expanding and big pockets Chelsea. Where do we see them, Baron? And try and keep this short.
So last year I think they exceeded expectations with their Champions League finish, and obviously Lampard in his first season finished in the FA Cup final too, so did a great job. And obviously in the transfer market, I think they've done the best job out of all the teams in the Premier League. They've signed ready-made players, some of which I think are arguably world class already, and I think that. Obviously, a central defender. They signed Malang Sarr. Don't know much about him.
I'm hearing.
But isn't he loaned back? Doesn't he get loaned back?
He's
going to be loaned. Yeah,
straight back out on loan. but they did get Thiago Silva, right?
Yeah. They got Thiago Silva. I still think that they probably can do with another centre back. But I mean, it's not high on the agenda as much as they need like a goalkeeper at the moment. They haven't.
Yeah.
They haven't. They've been linked with so many goalkeepers, but they've just kept with Kepa at the moment, and I think that's they need to do something about that.
Yeah, well, I think Kepa will be number 2, right? I think Willy Caballero is a better goalkeeper. Is he good enough to be number 1?
He's been released, right? I thought he was being released.
No, he hasn't. He hasn't been released. But I don't think he's a type of goalkeeper that's gonna, he's a second choice, definitely. Yeah. I think that they could do with a Nick Pope. They've been linked with all these keepers and nothing's kind of sufficed. So it is worrying. It is worrying.
Sorry, I keep getting Caballero mixed with Bravo at Man City. He was really
yeah. So
two baldies. Wow.
So go on then. Well, I gotta hear this. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
I gotta hear Baron's prediction for Chelsea this season.
So I think Chelsea will finish second. It's going to be a very close. A very close title fight with Man City. However, we'll talk about them later. But I think it's Chelsea will finish second at the end. Yes.
Second. Okay.
Okay, go on. Take it away, Tank.
Well, yeah, I think that's a bit optimistic to say the least. Chelsea, only one team in the top 10 lost more games than them last season, and that was 10th place, Burnley. All of the top 10 had a better defensive record, conceded less goals than Chelsea last season. That's why I was very confident Arsenal were going to get the FA Cup final win. Frank Lampard, overachieved in terms of position, getting in the Champions League, huge. It was the lowest points total of a fourth place team in, I think, 23 years. So
it was also the same amount of points as third, right? Because they both had 66, right?
Right. Okay. So yeah, pretty bad. But yeah, pretty good as well. Like for a manager who had a transfer ban, hadn't managed in the Premier League before, very average squad, you have to say. I would say he overachieved. Obviously got them to the cup final, like Baron said. They spent £223 million already this year. So it's going to be interesting. Werner, Ziyech, Havertz, Thiago Silva. Any more, Baron? You said Sarr. They've
Chilwell.
Really been, Chilwell. They really have strengthened. They are good players. Other than Chilwell, I think they're all from the Bundesliga, Netherlands, even France is not the best league. So, yeah, not exactly the proven world-class players that you're looking for, but definitely players with potential. It's a bit of a lottery, right? Some of them might click, some of them might not. I still think it's a good thing that Abramovich has gone and spent all that money in this time. I think you're getting players at probably at least maybe 2/3 of the price you would normally have to pay for them. So he's definitely got some discount.
Yeah.
So he's done well on there, except Man City, like we said, we'll come to them later. But yeah, I think they'll do all right next season as well. But I am predicting that they won't get in the Champions League. I'm predicting 5th place for Chelsea.
Wow.
Interesting. I'm interested to see your...
The main reason just being, I think, too many new players trying to bed in too soon. It really depends on Lampard if he's shrewd. But if I was him, I wouldn't be looking to play the majority of those players as regulars until the second half of the season. So just betting them in the first half of the season. I think it could be too much of a shake-up in one go otherwise.
Okay, interesting. I'm interested to see your predicted table. I think we'll have some quite similar ones. So Frank Lampard, again, just what you sort of touched upon. I think he's overachieved. I think he's shown an impressive sort of debut season in the Premier League. He was getting a lot of plaudits for bringing in the youth and a lot of press conferences there and saying that, Chelsea's got the best academy in the country. I'm very, very interested now. He's got the funds to go and buy, world-class players or potential of world-class players, how much time and patience he's going to have for the youth. People like Hudson-Odoi, people like Abraham, Mount. I've got a feeling that he's going to have no patience for them, and they'll have a lot more pressure with the 200 and odd million he spent to produce. So I think he'll lose his identity. I think the pressure will get to him, and ultimately I think they'll finish outside the top 4 as well, with them finishing 5th. And I think there could be a possibility, if that does happen, he'll get fired next year. Chelsea are renowned for their sort of carousel of managers. So I would like to see it happen.
Yeah.
Go on.
I was just going to say the only thing that I would say to that is I think the reason he's been back so strongly is just because Abramovich has a very close relationship with him personally. So I don't think Abramovich seemed to have given up on Chelsea. We haven't seen this kind of money from him for a very long time. obviously there was the transfer ban, but even before that, been selling their best players like Hazard and not really replacing them, or replacing them with players like Pulisic, who did actually prove to be a very good signing, but for a fraction of the price from the Bundesliga, who wasn't even playing for Dortmund really too much. So
they've got some cracking deals with some of the players, especially Werner. I mean, and Ziyech. I think they got some good deals there. Chilwell and what's his name, Havertz.
Yeah,
I'm not too sure, but But again, that's a lot of new players, a lot of players that you need to build chemistry and get around. I just don't think that they've strengthened enough in the right areas. As you said, right there, I think they were tied 12th with the most goals conceded in the league last year. But I think they'll finish 5th and nowhere near challenging for the title.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Crystal Palace. Take it away.
Crystal Palace had a kind of indifferent season. Some will say a poor season. They finished 14th last year. They were one of the lowest goal scorers in the league. They really did struggle to score goals, and they signed. I can't pronounce his name. Is it Eberici Easy or Eze?
Yeah, I was thinking this. I think we'll just call him Easy, right?
Easy. I've seen some clips of him. He looks very, very talented, very highly rated from other Premier League clubs. I think there was a few different clubs that were going in for him, and Palace got him in the end. I think he's going to improve Palace for sure. He scored 14 goals and 8 assists last season, and some say that he's a replacement for Zaha, but they've managed to sort of keep Zaha at the moment. So maybe they'll improve on their goals total compared to last season. However, I think that they will finish 13th, so a slight improvement from last season, but nothing overly spectacular.
Okay. I've actually gone slightly the other way, so pretty much the same, just one place lower. So I've gone for 15th next season. As you said, as we'll call him on the Dog Show, Easy E. 22-year-old English midfielder, very impressive. 14 goals, 8 assists. So, it was the championship for QPR, but still, there's a pretty good return. Roy Hodgson, not the biggest fan, especially for these attacking players. Zaha had probably one of his worst seasons, right, at Palace. You don't know how much it was to do with the hangover of Arsenal not signing him. Like you said, some people are saying this is a replacement, but actually I'm not aware of any interest in Zaha. I've not heard of any real big club looking to sign Zaha. Definitely not in the Premier League. I did hear a few whispers from abroad, but I don't think that's really what Zaha was looking for. I mean, I think his brother was on Instagram or something, Instagram Live with him, like begging Arsenal to sign him. But Arsenal have moved on from that one. I don't see us going back for him. Now that Willian's been signed, got Pepe, Saka, Martinelli, so I don't see Arsenal going back in for Zaha. So that's why I've just gone one place lower, 15th for next season. They only had 1 point from the last 5 games, so pretty dark signs.
Nothing more really too much to add there. Lost their last 4 games. Very, very inconsistent side, I thought, over the restart. Finished 14th in the end. I don't know. I don't know if they're going to pull enough quality players. I think they'll be in around the relegation zone next year. I think they'll finish 16th and they'll be battling it out and just sort of escape. So 16th for Palace for me.
Okay.
Next up, Everton, an interesting one.
Yeah.
This is a tough one to sort of predict. Last year, Ancelotti did very well when he took over. Finished 12th last season, so I think they'll definitely improve from last season's finish of 12th. I'm going to say that they're going to finish 7th.
So like you said, it is an interesting one. I think they will be one of the hardest to predict. I have also. What did you go for in the end? What
I went for 7th at the end.
7th place. I think that's a bit too optimistic. I was also the same though. I was seeing some good signings, good manager, and thinking, oh, they're going to finish higher at the table. And then I was looking at it and I was saying, wait a minute, there's still 8 teams better than them. So I put them in 9th place. I think there's some spectacular teams in the top 8. Yeah. And I think it would be very easy for one of these teams, apart from maybe Liverpool, Man City, I would say, are excluded, but I could see a lot of the other clubs finishing between 2nd and 8th very easily, just through a very good bit of form, some good management, some good players coming in and out. But yeah, I put them in 9th, and they're linked with James, right? James Rodriguez.
Oh,
the
yeah,
big one.
Yeah, they're going to finish.
Looks like they will do that. Looks like that business will be done. Whether or not we'll see the tremendous World Cup for Colombia, right? In I can't remember what year it was, but
2014.
Fantastic player. Was definitely the player of the tournament. Got the big move off of that onto Real Madrid. But it wasn't like that was his only thing that he had ever done. He had already been sold, I think, for like 40 millions and big money before that. So he was a player of note, and it just hasn't worked out for him at Real Madrid so much. But then you look at players like Gareth Bale, who's a spectacular player, and you just can't believe that he's being wasted at Real Madrid. So I wouldn't write him off. It would be an interesting one. I would love to see the old James Rodriguez popping up and doing bits for Everton. But I still don't think it will be enough. I'm predicting 9th place. I think the other teams above are just much better.
Okay, interesting. Everton. So I think initially when Ancelotti came in, he did a good job. I think he took over from interim manager Duncan Ferguson, right? I think based on their sort of last sort of 8 results, they underperformed. I know Ancelotti is one of what I would call a sort of a super manager, in the sense that he's won a lot and been at some really, really big clubs, and the players that he's pulling, Alan from Napoli, Rodriguez, and then they obviously sort of linked with some more players. I think that will help Everton. I'm going to put them as a sort of a surprise package next year. They obviously had Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin, who scored 15 goals apiece last year, with Sigurdsson, Nard, Theo Walcott. I think with the reinforcements coming in, I think they'll have a good year and almost be like a Wolves of years past. And I've got a feeling they're going to get their shit together, and I think they're going to finish 7th this year.
Okay, same as Baron.
Did you say 7th, Baron?
I did, yeah. I
was going to put them above Chelsea, but
Hey, there could be some money on this at the end of this. Don't go too heroic.
Oh yeah.
All right. Next up, Fulham.
I don't know too much about them, to be honest. Other than we're supposed to hate them as Chelsea fans. However, I nothing them. They have Scott Parker. They have
former Chelsea man.
Yep, former Chelsea man. Good player, decent player.
Next Chelsea manager when Lampard leaves or gets fired.
No chance. They've got Mitrovic, decent player, keeps scoring goals as per usual. Can rely on him, and they've done well in the transfer market. A nice loan deal from Southampton, Lemina, and a couple of other players that.
Lemina didn't really get much action though for Southampton in the game time, did he?
Not much, but he did perform quite well in the few games that I've seen him. But I'm quite surprised that they don't really play him that often. But yeah, he's a decent player. Once of Juventus, great signing.
Yeah, you always sign him on the Championship managers and football managers.
Yeah. So for Fulham, in terms of staying in the Premier League, I think they're going to struggle. Yeah, I think they're going to struggle big time.
And final position?
Final position, 17th.
They're going to... Okay.
Oh, they're going to survive.
So they're going to survive?
They're going to survive at the end, yeah. They're going to struggle, but they're going to survive at the end. I think Mitrovic is going to be the Lord save for them.
To be fair, a goal scorer makes all the difference at the bottom, right?
Yeah.
That could be it. But Norwich had Pukki last season and they couldn't do it. And they also had one of the most creative midfielders. But they were one of the worst teams I've ever seen in the Premier League, as we've touched on. Yeah, I'll take over then. So again, there's not really much to note about Fulham in terms of transfers. Nothing big in or out. Yeah, they finished 4th in the Championship last season. So they were the team which benefited from the playoffs.
Right.
But they did finish well, though. They got 11 points from the last 5 games, so pretty decent. Yeah, but unfortunately, I just don't think it's enough. I think the Premier League is too good. And I predict them to finish second bottom in 19th place.
Interesting.
Wow.
Okay, so a little bit of background. Scott Parker actually took over from and his managerial career from Fulham 2 years ago, and actually got Fulham relegated. Took over sort of when the ship was already sinking. So so he's actually been relegated with Fulham. Kudos to him. Those one year in the Championship, a very competitive league to get out of on his first year of asking, has brought them back up. Yeah. So that's a big kudos to him. He's kept Mitrovic intact, and to be honest, they got through the playoffs without him. Really came on as a sub in sort of extra time against Brentford in the final, but they didn't really have him in the playoffs and towards the back end of the season. So, Scott Parker's done really, really well. Mitrovic, 26 goals in the Championship last year. I think he's good for at least 12, 13 goals in the Premiership next year. They obviously brought in, is it Melina from Southampton?
Yeah.
Right. That's good. I think they're always sort of linked with Callum Chambers at Arsenal. I know he played for them a couple of years ago and at right back and at centre midfield. So would love it. Scott Parker, if you're listening, please take him off our hands. A little 10 million would go nicely.
Well, they're playing Arsenal, right? For game 1 of the season.
We play him game 1 and
Craven Cottage.
Yeah. Normally that would be a little bit more of a London derby, intense fans, right. Or right on top of you, but
used to be a horrible great game ground to go to, right?
Yes. But I think with the fans not being there, that will play into our hands and probably would hinder sort of the lower end teams. But I think they'll get relegated convincingly. I think they'll finish 19th as also. Yeah. Next up, Championship champions Leeds.
Yeah.
I know Baron's going to have a little bit more to say about these guys.
Yeah, I'm quite excited to see Leeds play in the Premier League again, but also about just Leeds in general as a team. I've seen them play a few times in the Championship last season, and to be honest, it was like watching a Premier League team. The style of football was amazing. And I'm really excited by seeing them in the Premier League this season. I like Bielsa as a manager. Yeah. Guardiola absolutely idolizes this man.
Yeah, says he's very highly rated manager.
Yeah, said he's absolutely at the top of the list of managers. Yeah, I can't wait to see this philosophy in person. And yeah, I think they're going to have a fantastic year. And I think that they're going to finish. I think they're going to finish 9th.
Wow.
I think they're going to finish 9th, just like they are in alphabetical order in the table.
That's the only reason. He was too lazy to move them.
Yeah.
Nah. I totally agree with you. I didn't go as high as 9th. I put them in 12th place to finish, but I think they're going to have a fantastic first season in the league. Bielsa, like you said, fantastic manager. They won their last 5 games in order to get promoted in top spots. They finished top of the league in the Championship.
Yeah.
It will be Championship winners versus Premier League winners on game day 1. They go to Anfield, their first game of the season, so that will be a tricky one. I think they also played Man City in their first 5 games and Wolves as well. So tough start, but I think they definitely have some quality there. They've signed Rodrigo, 29-year-old striker from Valencia. His record last season wasn't so great, but he has been their top goal scorer for the last few years. So they'll be hoping to see the best of him in the Premier League. It will be difficult. That we've had some very decent strikers come from Spain in the past and not made it. So that will be an interesting one to track. But yeah, I think they'll do well, and I can see them finishing in 12th place.
Yeah, okay, great. So with Leeds, they're an interesting one. I think Baron touched upon it, their style of play, their plan, their ability to and the coach's ability to execute and get the players doing exactly what he wants is quite remarkable. Even last year when they played Arsenal in the FA Cup, they passed us off the puck for the first half, made us look very, very ordinary. And I think they'll do that to a lot of teams in the Premiership. They've got a world-class manager. I think they've got 3 or 4 players that are already Premier League quality. They got Bamford, who scored 16 goals last year. They got Pablo Hernandez, who scored 9 goals, 9 assists. So they've got players with pedigree.
The centre midfielder, right? You got called up for England.
Oh yeah, Calvin Phillips.
Phillips.
Yeah, Yorkshire Pirlo. as he's known as. Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely an enforcer. But yeah, it would be interesting to see, who else they bring in here. I think they're going to do very well. I think they're going to be the Sheffield United of last year. They will come unstuck, and their bravery and courage on the ball, the ability to play out, they will get found out. But I think Leeds have got a little bit more to that. I think they've got an astute manager, and I think they're going to finish 10th this year. So
nice.
I think they're gonna do well this year.
Just making it into the top 10.
Yes, that's right, top half. All right. Next up, we have Leicester. Leicester, an interesting one here. Yeah. So take it away, Baron.
Yeah. So they've signed Timothy Castagne from Atalanta, a ready-made replacement for Ben Chilwell. He's very highly rated. PSG and Tottenham wanted him, but he chose Leicester. To be honest, I think he's made the very bad decision. I think that Leicester, absolutely fantastic season last season. Obviously, they would be bitterly disappointed to finish outside the top 4. It was in their hands, and they did. I think they choked, and I think that and Brendan Rodgers has done a fantastic jobs, no doubt about that. However, I think that they're going to finish 8th. I think that, and I don't think that they're going to have a particularly bad season. I think that the teams around them will improve. As Tank said, it's a very competitive league, and it is difficult to predict. But I think they're going to finish 8th.
Yeah, I mean it's exactly like you said, but I put them down for 7th. I think Leicester will finish in 7th place. I think they got a fantastic manager, Brendan Rodgers. I think he's one of the best managers in the league, honestly. He's got a bit of an ego, but he's a very good tactician, and I really rate him. But yeah, I think when we look at last season, DAWG said as well, it wasn't just Chelsea in 4th place, who had one of the lowest points total in Premiership era, but also United in 3rd place, also on similar points. So I think there was a lot of teams who underperformed last season. And I think that's going to be a big difference this season. I predict Arsenal to come back. I predict Man United and Chelsea to have even better seasons. I predict Tottenham to have a better season than last season. So I just see them slipping down, like you said, not because they're going to have a bad season, just because the regulars, the big hitters will be back, I think, this season.
Yeah. They
had a terrible end to last season, right? Only getting 4 points from the last 5 games. Like you said, they have signed a fullback. They let go of Chilwell. So that's a big loss to them. But they've definitely got some good money out of it, so they'll be able to do something about it. So let's see how that goes down. Because I don't know if they sold because they needed the money, or I think it was just a good price. I would have probably sold, Chilwell for that price, even if
he's not worth 50 million.
To be honest, he was linked quite a lot last season already.
I think
Manchester City, right?
Manchester City as
well, right?
Yeah. That's it. Like Man City was seriously interested, and when that's the case, if that's your number one target, which it clearly was for Chelsea, if they want to knock Man City out of the equation, they got to pay the price, and they paid it.
Any team selling to Chelsea need to give them Chelsea tax, right? So that's another plus.
7th place finish for Leicester.
Okay, so Leicester obviously started the league extremely well. The first half, I think they were even going toe to toe with Liverpool at that time, and Liverpool we'll talk about in a minute. They were a well-oiled machine. They lost a 14-point advantage to come out of the Champions League, and given the inconsistency of Chelsea, Arsenal, Wolves, Man United gained a little bit of consistency after the break. We'll talk about that as well. I think Leicester are going to have a little bit of an off year. We spoke about the guys coming in and out. Maddison, Vardy signing deals obviously would help them. I think they will go significantly down and have a little bit of a dip. I think they'll go from 5th last year to 9th this year.
Oh wow! A big drop.
Yeah, I've got Everton going going above them this year.
Okay.
You know, but again, I don't. Again, the points difference between, you know, the 6th and the 10th positions, I don't think are going to be are too big. But I think Leicester are going to have a poor year.
Yeah, it's interesting that we all sort of predicted the same sort of thing for Leicester.
Yeah.